Their on-off relationships, the bust-ups, they're the stuff of rock and roll legends. But it was the music which made Fleetwood Mac one of the most successful bands of all time.
Christine McVie was with the group for 3 decades but stepped out of the limelight for 16 years. Now she's back.
The music world was left shocked and heartbroken when Christine McVie, Fleetwood Mac's cherished keyboardist and songwriter, passed away in 2022.
Christine McVie, the hugely successful singer and songwriter who was part of the rock band Fleetwood Mac, has died at the age of 79. The band sold more than 100 million records worldwide, making them one of the most successful groups ever.
Christine McVie, who shared lead vocals in Fleetwood Mac, died at the age of 79. Her voice, which powered some of the most well-known songs in rock history, felt timeless. Until it wasn't. Despite the fame, Christine's life was filled with personal struggles. The gap since I left and rejoined seems to have sort of vanished like salt on a slug. You know, I'm starting to wonder what the heck I did do for those 18 years, she once said. Those years reflected personal sacrifices and a constant effort to balance love, music, and peace. This is the story of a legendary artist whose life was filled with both high achievements and difficult moments. Don't miss this. It might surprise you, but Christine McVie seemed destined to live a life centered around music. From early childhood, music was a natural part of Christine's life. Her father, Cyril, was a concert violinist and a music professor, and he had a strong impact on her early musical development. Her mother, Beatrice, had worked as a school teacher, but it was Christine's father who truly introduced her to music and helped her develop a deep interest in it that shaped her future. Christine's musical journey began with classical piano lessons. She showed a natural talent for the piano, an instrument that would remain central to her work throughout her life. Although classical music gave her strong technical skills, it was the growing rock and blues movements of the 1960s that captured her attention and led her to explore music beyond formal training. As a teenager, she stepped away from the path of classical music and moved toward the freer, more expressive world of blues and rock. That decision became a major turning point, setting the direction for her sound and career. By the middle of the 1960s, Christine had fully entered the British music scene. At that time, blues was becoming more popular across the country. Her first major band, Chicken Shack, played a key role in helping her grow as both a musician and an artist. Chicken Shack was a British blues band known for nurturing emerging talent, and Christine's presence had a big impact. She joined the band in 1967, contributing her smooth, emotional voice and strong keyboard playing. It didn't take long for her talent to stand out. Her version of Etta James's "I'd Rather Go Blind" became one of her most recognized performances. It revealed her wide vocal range and her deep ability to connect with emotion through music. The track demonstrated her excellent timing and her feel for blues, both shaped by her classical background. It became one of Chicken Shack's most popular songs and showed that Christine had a powerful presence in the blues scene. Her standout voice and musical skills soon earned her more attention in the industry. In 1969, she received the Melody Maker Award for Female Vocalist of the Year, confirming her status as one of the top vocalists of the time. Her expressive and heartfelt singing connected with many people, and she quickly built a reputation as one of the most engaging and adaptable singers of that period. This stage in her career laid a strong foundation for what would come next, as she began forming the distinct musical style that would set her apart. Christine's time with Chicken Shack also broadened her exposure to different musical styles. Those influences would later shape her contributions to Fleetwood Mac. The combination of blues, rock, and soul she experienced during that time helped her develop the signature sound that she would carry into her next chapter. Her gift for blending soul, warmth, and strong melodies helped her craft a sound that felt both relatable and emotionally rich. In 1968, Christine McVie's personal life and music career came together in a meaningful way when she married John McVie, Fleetwood Mac's bassist. At that point, she was already well known in the British music scene thanks to her work with Chicken Shack, which had earned her respect as a skilled and soulful performer in both blues and rock. But this new phase in her life would go on to shape her in more ways than one, not only in her personal life, but also in her musical path. Marrying John McVie not only connected Christine more deeply with Fleetwood Mac, but also paved the way for her official involvement with one of rock's most influential bands. At first, Christine worked more behind the curtain. She designed artwork for the band's early records, bringing a creative touch to the visual side of their work. This allowed her to participate in the band's overall creative process in more ways than just music. Still, it was her musical abilities that would come to define her role. As Fleetwood Mac gradually moved away from their original blues roots and embraced a broader rock style, Christine's strengths as a vocalist, songwriter, and keyboard player became a key part of their changing sound. In 1970, Christine became an official member of Fleetwood Mac, marking an important shift for both her personal career and the band's future. At that point, Fleetwood Mac was still known mainly as a British blues rock band with a loyal but fairly limited audience, especially in the United States. They had seen some success in the UK, but the global recognition they would later earn hadn't arrived yet. Christine's arrival turned out to be a major step forward for the group. Her presence helped change their musical direction and opened new creative possibilities that would eventually take them to worldwide fame. Her presence in the band expanded their sound. As a skilled keyboardist with a deep understanding of musical structure, Christine made a noticeable impact right away. Her playing added everything from soft, atmospheric tones to full, layered soundscapes, helping to shape Fleetwood Mac's evolving style. She also had a talent for combining blues elements with a more approachable rock sound. This gave the band a new level of richness and helped set them apart from other blues rock groups during that time. But beyond the instruments, Christine brought something else just as important: her voice. Her vocals were known for their warmth and emotional tone, quickly becoming a signature part of the band's identity. While other members, including Peter Green and Mick Fleetwood, leaned into their blues roots, Christine's singing brought a smoother, more relatable quality to the music. Her voice wasn't just melodic. It conveyed emotion and told stories. This combination of blues, rock, and soul gave Fleetwood Mac a sound that stood out from their peers. Another key part of Christine's contribution was her songwriting. While Peter Green had been the main creative force during the early years, Christine's entrance marked the beginning of a more collaborative approach to writing songs. Her writing stood out for its strong melodies, emotional honesty, and the way it connected personal feelings to more universal experiences. Tracks like Say You Love Me and Over My Head from the band's 1975 self-titled album showed Christine's talent for creating songs that were both emotionally rich and appealing to a wide audience. These songs also signaled a clear shift for Fleetwood Mac, from their blues-based beginnings toward a style that leaned more toward mainstream pop rock, a change that made their music more accessible to the general public. In 1975, Fleetwood Mac went through a major change that redefined their path and locked in their place in music history. What had started as a British blues band was becoming a polished, radio-friendly pop rock group. A big part of this shift came from a key decision: adding Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks to the lineup. With this new formation, the band moved to California, a change that would deeply influence their upcoming sound and shape the direction of their future albums. Christine, already a central figure in the band, found that her skills as a songwriter were now more in demand than ever as Fleetwood Mac embraced a new style. The arrival of Buckingham and Nicks brought fresh ideas and different influences, creating a burst of creative energy that helped turn Fleetwood Mac into a more commercially appealing act. Their shift away from blues and into a cleaner pop-rock sound wasn't accidental. It matched the musical landscape of the mid-70s and allowed them to connect with a much broader audience. For Christine, this shift made perfect sense. Her strength in writing tuneful, emotionally driven songs was exactly what the band needed, as they aimed for wider recognition. Their 1975 album Fleetwood Mac, the first with the new members, became a breakthrough. It didn't just make them famous, it also signaled a move away from their earlier identity. Christine played a huge part in the album's success. Her songs, Over My Head and Say You Love Me, stood out and helped carry the album. Over My Head was one of her most memorable contributions. With its catchy tune and her smooth, heartfelt vocals, the song instantly clicked with both radio stations and listeners. Its direct lyrics and simple structure made it easy to enjoy, but also emotionally meaningful. It showed Christine's songwriting at its finest, capturing the kind of vulnerability and emotional honesty that often connects deeply with listeners. It was the kind of song that felt familiar to people across different backgrounds. That sense of connection helped make Over My Head a success, reaching the top 20 on the charts and opening the door for Fleetwood Mac to reach a broader and more varied audience. Another important track by Fleetwood Mac that highlighted Christine's strengths was Say You Love Me. With its lively tempo and catchy chorus, the song quickly became a standout and helped further establish Christine as a master of writing memorable melodies. It balanced emotional depth with a pop-driven sound that was signature to Fleetwood Mac, mixing meaningful lyrics with an engaging rhythm. Say You Love Me clearly showed Christine's talent for creating music that felt both current and timeless. It wasn't just a display of her songwriting skills, it also showed how easily she could connect with listeners on a personal level. The song became one of the band's most well-loved tracks and played a part in helping Fleetwood Mac reach a new level of commercial success. Christine's role in shaping Fleetwood Mac's sound was essential in their rise to fame. While Lindsey Buckingham added complex guitar work and Stevie Nicks brought her unique, dreamlike style, it was Christine's sense for melody and her ability to write relatable songs that helped push the band forward. She added a warm and approachable element to their music, which contrasted with the darker, more introspective themes often found in songs by other members. Her skill in creating simple yet powerful tunes that reached a wide audience was a major reason why the Fleetwood Mac album became such a huge hit. When Rumours was released in 1977, it marked a major moment not only for Fleetwood Mac, but also for rock music in general. The album's huge commercial and critical success secured the band's place in music history and helped define the sound of that decade. What made the creation of Rumours even more notable was the emotional chaos happening behind the scenes. Despite the turmoil within the group, they managed to turn their experiences into a record that broke records and went on to sell over 40 million copies around the world. During the recording of Rumours, each band member was going through intense personal challenges. Christine McVie and her husband, bassist John McVie, had recently ended their marriage, and that tension spilled into the group dynamic. At the same time, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham were also going through a difficult breakup. Meanwhile, drummer Mick Fleetwood was dealing with problems in his own marriage and the emotional effects of betrayal. The band members were spending long hours in the studio, working closely together while dealing with these personal issues. Still, they managed to use all that emotional stress and turn it into music that felt raw, honest, and easy for people to relate to. Christine McVie was especially known for taking her personal pain and transforming it into some of the album's most memorable songs. One of her standout tracks on Rumours was "You Make Loving Fun," which had a bright and joyful energy, even though she was recovering from a breakup at the time. She wrote it about her new relationship with Fleetwood Mac's lighting director, and the track stood out on the album. With its cheerful rhythm and Christine's soulful vocals, the song quickly became a favorite. The happy tone of "You Make Loving Fun" stood in sharp contrast to the emotional chaos the band was experiencing behind closed doors. Its upbeat feeling reminded listeners that moments of happiness could still exist, even during tough times. The song's smooth groove and memorable chorus helped make it one of Rumours' lasting hits, and one of Christine's most loved works within the band's collection. Another powerful song by Christine on the Rumours album was "Songbird," a heartfelt and deeply emotional ballad. What made Songbird so special was how it was recorded. Christine performed it alone in an empty auditorium, sitting at a grand piano and pouring emotion into every word. The stripped-down arrangement, just her voice and piano, made the lyrics feel even more intimate and sincere. The song wasn't just about love, it expressed vulnerability and longing in a personal way. Songbird became one of Christine's signature songs and a fan favorite, appreciated for its honest and delicate beauty. It provided a soft, emotional contrast to the more energetic tracks on the album, and it showed the full range of Christine's musical talent. Its lasting appeal and emotional depth helped make it one of the album's standout pieces, even though it wasn't released with the same commercial push as other tracks. While Christine's songs were a major part of what made Rumours a success, the album as a whole reflected the combined efforts of the entire band. Rumours is often considered one of the greatest rock albums ever made because of its straightforward lyrics, polished production, and the way it captured the personal challenges the band was going through. The tension between band members is clear in many of the songs, and each track shows a different side of the emotional struggles they were dealing with. For example, "Go Your Own Way" was Lindsey Buckingham's take on his breakup with Stevie Nicks, while "Dreams" was Nicks's response to that same breakup. The change spoke to the bond between the group members even as they went through personal conflicts. All of these songs worked together to give Rumours a deep emotional impact that listeners still respond to decades later. During the 1980s, Christine McVie thrived both as a solo artist and as a core member of Fleetwood Mac. This era solidified her reputation as one of the most skilled and adaptable musicians in rock music. While Fleetwood Mac continued evolving, Christine explored her solo career, releasing a self-titled album, Christine McVie, in 1984. The record, which blended pop, rock, and soul influences, was a commercial hit and highlighted her signature vocals and songwriting style. Standout tracks like "Got a Hold on Me" and "Love" will show us how gained significant airplay and quickly became fan favorites. "Got a Hold on Me" stood out with its upbeat rhythm and catchy melody, showcasing Christine's knack for writing songs that were both emotionally engaging and easy to enjoy. Its vibrant tempo paired with her expressive vocals made it a popular tune on 1980s radio. On the other hand, "Love Will Show Us How" offered a more reflective tone. With rich production and emotional lyrics, it gave listeners a glimpse of Christine's more introspective side. These tracks helped establish her identity as a solo artist, connected to Fleetwood Mac's sound, but also distinct in her own right. Even with her solo achievements, Christine continued to play a central role in Fleetwood Mac's success throughout the decade. When the band released Tango in the Night in 1987, Christine was responsible for writing and singing two of the album's most recognizable songs, "Everywhere" and "Little Lies." Both tracks reflected her talent for crafting melodic, accessible songs with a strong pop-rock appeal. Everywhere became one of Fleetwood Mac's most cherished hits. Its uplifting message and polished sound, combined with Christine's warm vocals, made it a constant favorite on both the radio and during live shows. Little Lies, while a bit more melancholic, retained her signature sound. With themes of doubt and mistrust layered over a steady beat and catchy hooks, the song captured the band's ability to blend emotion with mainstream appeal. Throughout the late 1980s, Christine's songwriting and performances remained a vital part of Fleetwood Mac's identity. But by the late 1990s, she began to feel the strain of constant touring and the demands of public life. The pressure of being part of a globally recognized band had started to wear on her, and the non-stop travel and performances began to take their toll. In 1997, Fleetwood Mac reunited for The Dance, a successful tour and live album. It brought the classic lineup, Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks, John McVie, Mick Fleetwood, and Christine, back together. While the tour was a major moment for the band, it also became a turning point for Christine. After the tour wrapped up, she decided it was time to step away from the spotlight. She felt her journey with the band had come full circle and chose to retire from performing. After leaving Fleetwood Mac, Christine settled into a quiet life in the English countryside. She embraced a peaceful lifestyle, far removed from the fast-paced world of fame and music. For nearly 15 years, she distanced herself from the industry, choosing instead to focus on her personal life and well-being. This break allowed her to rest and reflect on a career filled with achievements and contributions to music. Sadly, Christine McVie passed away on November 30th, 2022, at the age of 79. Her death marked the end of an important chapter in the history of rock. The news led to a wave of emotional tributes from fellow musicians, fans, and people in the music industry across the globe. As a key voice and songwriter in Fleetwood Mac, Christine left behind a lasting legacy. Her gentle presence, combined with her powerful musical talent, left a deep impact on listeners across generations. Her work in both the band and as a solo performer shaped the sound of modern rock and pop music in a meaningful way. What are your thoughts on Christine McVie? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel.